Hello, today I'll be showing you how to plant these beautiful astilbes from bare root. Astilbes are perennials in zones 3 through 8 and grow well in part shade with moist soil. They bloom between late spring and late summer, and they attract pollinators. Now you can purchase bare root astilbes in many big box stores, or you can order them online. So generally the big box stores have them available in March, and that's a great time to buy them so that you can plant them out in early spring. So planting from bare root is also economical as you can get them for significantly less than buying a full-grown plant. So here I purchased 5 bags from Walmart, and these are the Astilbe Sunny Boy variety, and these grow to about 2 feet tall. Now I'm opening each bag and I'll show you what they look like inside. Now, if you get one that is a bum root, bare root, I would say put it back in the bag and return it back to the store because that has happened to me before. So here I can see that the roots are very, very dry, but there's some nice growth points on it. So I know it is not dead. And what I'm going to do is, because they are so incredibly dry, I'm going to be putting them in this tub and then later going to be adding some water to soak them for a while. Now the second root, because there's 2 in the bag, the second one does have some growth points even though it's a lot smaller, and you can see where they've cut it when they dug it out and divided them so that you can get a piece of a bare root. So here is bag 2, and these are probably even worse than that first one because they're incredibly small and very dry, not seeing a whole lot of growth on it, but maybe we'll see how it does when it gets rehydrated. And here are kind of 2 pieces, maybe one of them fell apart, but there is some growth. And you can see here is where they cut it and divided the root that you got. This one's way small. Now looking in the bag, it looks like there is a second root. So even though I got those 2 tiny ones, those were bonus ones. But yeah, you can see sort of where they cut it. Again, that flat side, that's where they divided the plant. And that's the bare root, but that has some growth, so it looks good. So this is the third bag here. And let's see how good these are. So a nice big root. Both of them are pretty big. And actually the eyes on this one is significantly better. Nice and plump. Now this is probably what they should look like mostly, but it's still very dry. Now on to the next bag. And these are some okay sized ones as well. It's a very tiny one. I don't see any eyes on it either. So not sure that this one will do much. This is a pretty big one. And I do see an eye there. So there's some growth, and I know it's at least still alive. But that is really the only growth on it. And this is the last bag. And let's see how this one looks. So these are the roots that were in there. So again, I got one large one and one very small one, but at least the large one looks pretty good. Every single one is dry, but it's got some nice growth, and that one has a little bit of growth, but yeah, they're not the best. These 2 tiny ones. So now we're gonna take and put some water in here to rehydrate these roots, and I'll be soaking them for a couple hours. So here they are after a couple of hours of being hydrated, and they're looking so much better now. And they've got color to them. They're kind of more orangey golden. And I didn't put them in a whole lot of water because you don't want the crown to get too moist. So you'll see the roots are so much color in them, and they've plumped up from what they were and not being so brittle. There's still a lot of roots that look brittle and dead, but at least there's some roots that are alive, and these should do very well in the garden and grow. So now these are all ready to be planted into the garden. So now we're ready to plant in the garden, and I'm just removing the mulch to the side and loosening the soil. I have very heavy clay soil, so I need the roots to be able to have room to take into the garden. I also like to add some biotone fertilizer, but you can add really any fertilizer you'd like, or even just some compost. Now, I like to make a little mound in the center of my planting hole, and then I put the bare root on top of the mound, and I try to stretch out the roots so that they're facing down and going down that little mound. And then I just slowly fill the hole back up, covering those roots so that they are facing down and growing down into the soil. And then finally, I will cover it back up with soil, and I'll make sure not to cover the new growth by more than like an inch of soil on top. And then I'm just adding the mulch back in so that it provides the moisture it needs. Now here I am planting a second one where I am again mounding the soil and putting the bare root on top of that little mound and trying to stretch out those roots so that they go down and below that little mound. So since my soil is very moist, I don't need to water them in, but you will want to make sure that it is consistently moist and don't let that dry out in the initial stages of its growth. And also the mulch helps with maintaining that moisture level. So that's it. And you will get some beautiful Astilbes in your garden. These Astilbes in my garden are about 2 years old now and going into their third year. And they've just held up beautifully. Matter of fact, I now am ready to be dividing them because they've gotten so large. So I hope this was helpful for you when you go out and buy your bare root Astilbes and plant them into your garden. So happy gardening and enjoy. Bye.